Everyone, Alex and Joe from Raddtitan.
Yo, peeps.
Yo. Alright, we're here today and we're actually looking over an older piece that we reviewed a long time ago at Mike Wells' house. Gio's got it in, so after the kind of years of seeing it before and being totally kind of quite blown away by it, then we're going to see if that still stands up today and with it in Gio's collection. So let's get on to the piece and let you know what we think and do the usual. So keep watching, guys.
Yo. So, like Alex was talking about, we will be reviewing the Sideshow Collectibles. This is considered one of the, the royalty of the premium format pieces. I managed to pick this up from a good friend, Jonathan Meddins. He's a nice guy. If you ever run into him, want to deal with him, he's a good guy to, we had a meet up, he come round, a few boys came to see him. We had a nice chat and I managed to do a deal with him for this piece. I first, like Alex was saying, I first saw this at a friend of ours called Michael Wells. And to be brutally honest with you, we went there primarily to see the Magneto from XM because it was released sort of around that time, and everybody was the best piece ever, it was the best this, that and the other. But the truth of the matter is I think me and Alex both came away from that day thinking that the Gambit was the more impressive of the two pieces.
I think the wow factor for the Gambit at the time was a lot higher. It was kind of a momentous day because we got to see the Captain America, the original premium format for the first time, and
pile of monkey shit.
Both of us kind of looked at each other and was like,
that ain't it.
That can't be it. Has Mike got like a fake one, or has Mike got one that's been gone through QC without someone actually checking it? But anyway, and the Gambit just blew that out of the water personally.
Yeah, easy. No.
So on that day, we were super impressed by the Gambit. Obviously,
overhyped, wasn't it? That's the problem.
I was going to say that. I mean, with the Magneto, because everyone was saying it's the best piece ever. When we saw it, we were like, "Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really nice."
But there wasn't that much hype at the time for the Gambit. So
yeah, and we walked away going, that Gambit's really special, really surprising. It happens sometimes. That's how it goes. I've always wanted this piece, but it's always, again, like I always say, I always have a ceiling. And I don't care what the pieces are, I don't go beyond what I think it's worth for me to spend. And this piece just fell within my ceiling of what I would pay for it. And that's why I have it. The truth of the matter is it was one of those things. I did not want to be paying £1,000, £1,500 for this piece. Which says a lot really, because I paid that for Magneto, so potato,
yeah.
I did the deal. I'm very, very happy with it. I really wanted, and I think part of the reason as well is that ridiculous smoking portrait that we know now licenses have been strangled via higher end companies that are involved. Certainly Disney taking over the Marvel license has come with serious repercussions on, the history of a character. They think that they can sort of eradicate a history of a character and make it so PC that you almost want to fucking drown yourself because it's that disgusting. And, we remember Gambit as someone who chain smoked, gambled, drunk, was temperamental, lost his shit occasionally, blew things up, and this is that Gambit. So for me, I thought, it's never license-wise, it's never going to be seen again. So I had to...
You may get customs.
Yeah, customs will do it, yeah, I'm sure, but license-wise, don't look down your cards, your eyes are too red, look too evil, blah, blah, whatever the reasons. I just thought this was the right time to jump in and grab
Same
this.
with Wolverine, you're never going to see a cigar smoking Wolverine licensed statue again, likely. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you had that, what was it, the Diamond Select one, was it? The one with the crossbow. He's smoking a cigarette now.
Marvel Milestones.
Might be, with the...
He's smoking a cigarette, yeah. That's based off of number 2,
yeah.
I think.
So we know that Gambit is Remy LeBeau. He is actually one of my more favoured X-Men, to be honest. Him and Cyclops, Wolverine, and the Beast, they're probably like the people I like. Really don't care too much for Storm and Rogue, and actually Rogue's pretty hot. But yeah, Storm not so much. Who else is in there?
Jubilee.
Yeah, let's not talk about
Professor X.
No, let's talk about that either.
Apparently everyone loves Morph. I was very upset when he died.
Morph.
Yeah.
Morph who?
There's a character called Morph who died, and
Don't even know who he is.
I
like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler's another character I kind of like as well. Gambit's one of them ones. To be brutally honest with you, this piece, I own it more for how nice the statue is as opposed to how much I love the character. It's one of the few times in my collecting life where I think I like the statue more than the character. You know, that's just how it goes. I really do. I mean, getting on, we'll start with the piece itself. Let's get on with the worst part of it, which is the base.
Yep, so the base is basically the X base, which is probably, looks pretty much exactly the same size as the Colossus base, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just got the kind of black, kind of like, it's not matte, it's not gloss, it's like a bit in between, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
light
so,
gloss.
yeah, it's like a light gloss.
And then you got the red X in there with the kind of like embossed around the logo.
Yeah,
there.
it's nothing really too.
Yeah, I mean
it's forgettable as soon as it. I mean, it is something. The colours, you know, but for Gambit's quite black, like his uniform. So for me, it's a bit mishy.
I think though with this piece, because he's so sort of like a museum-ish pose.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think this base does work quite nicely for him.
Yeah, it does with the Colossus too.
And I do think that, you know, this piece, the sculpt on the body is really, really good. That I think that this base kind of works in a way. It's same as sometimes, you know, the plain black PCS bases. If you have like one of them in your collection, it probably doesn't work very well. If you have like 2 or 3 of them, they kind of match. And
yeah, it does. It's got a uniform,
right?
hasn't it? It's got a uniform.
Just
Sorting out this thing, I just noticed that one of the little buckle things were not through the coat, and I don't.
OC fucking
D.
D.
Ah! now it's perfect.
Alright, then you work your way up, so you got his very stylish boots.
Yeah, they're silver boots. One thing you're gonna, you know, that it is really nice. The contrast in the colours between the black has almost, you know, as you get beyond those ludicrous boots, they're really cool. But as you get beyond them, the black is almost like a mauvey kind of black. It's not exactly like black. You can sort of see. Do you get what I'm saying? It's got like purples and a bit of pinks in the purples in the black. You see what I'm saying?
Not really.
It is. It's not quite. It's not like. It's not jet black. That's not. There are other colours in there. I can see blues and things inside.
I can see a bit of blue
into the shading, which is nice.
And then you've also got the panels on the side, which
you can't really see them as.
Yeah, so I mean the actual panels have quite a bit of texture on them as well.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good to kind of break it up.
As you can see, the mixed media coat's like nice lined. It's got the really tight stitching in it, and it's got the different colour inside, which is a nice touch. You know, you've got all these little straps and things around the waist. You can mess with them. They're all wired, so you can sort of pose them as you please.
The wire might be a bit too, you know.
The coat's too heavy for you to be able to do. I mean, for idiots like me and you, I think there are people that would be able to get this to come out and go to one size. I just can't do it. And to be honest with you, for me, there is something I like about it being a heavy coat. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want anything like that. It just sort of, I want it to sort of sit down.
I think the mixed media has done really, really well. I think this coat and the Cyclops coat have both done very, very well. I think that this one being this kind of material, you know, you're not going to get that kind of flaking from the polyurethane as you're going to get with Cyclops. I think this coat's done very, very well.
Yeah, it's very nice, wired through it and stuff like that.
I've seen a few people pose it without the coat, and personally,
got pictures.
Not a fan of it.
We'll add it.
I've seen a couple.
I took pictures before I put the coat on, because the coat actually, this as well, even though it's a heavy coat, this is still difficult to get on the arms and things like that. It's very hard, and it's very hard to keep the lining of the arms especially intact. A lot of them rip, a lot of them tear.
Oh, really?
Trying to get them in, so you've got to be super, super careful. It's just because, it's like I say, you've got to get the arm in the statue again. It's a separate. You can't get the coat on that way. You can't put the arms on and then try and put the coat on. You have to do it the other way around. You have to put the arms through the coat and then try and put the arms on the body, and it's difficult. I really think that this is absolutely beautiful, this colour. Reminds me a little bit of the Galactus sort of style of how you make pinks and purples look sexy. It's got a sheen. It's got a mother of pearl to it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's got like a shimmer of white in it. It's
Well,
really nice.
I had a custom Gambit. It didn't stay in my collection very long, but I had a custom Gambit, and that was one of the main issues for me, is they got that purple wrong. They made it quite pink.
Yeah.
And for me, that kind of like maybe get rid of it quite quickly. And that and some of the proportions were off. But with this one, I think that they've nailed that colour, and it's one of the times as well, as you say, with the Galactus, where they've taken these characters which in a 2D comic version will look really, really cool.
Yeah.
But then when you put it into like a 3D kind of representation like that, it kind of
Campus Christmas.
it turns
Campus
out very
Christmas.
camp. And I think they've still managed to keep it quite, can't really say quite manly as a pink.
I feel the same with the Galactus maquette. I think his colours are really camp, and I mean it's like an Elton John costume, and he looks cool as fuck. There's no doubt about
Even
it.
the boots, I mean, you can easily make them boots could easily be like, just look well out of place. But
I mean they're really well, everything's really well shaded, and I love that mother of pearl across his abs and the sculpt of his abdomen and chest, and it's just fucking perfect. Absolutely, aesthetically, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
So
like a ravishing Rick Rude, that midsection. If you know your WWE.
Just looking at the coat and the back as well there.
Yeah.
Great. Really, really well done.
Lovely stitching, isn't it? All the way through. It's got stitching running down the centre, down the sides of the arms, across the lapels.
It's probably one of their best sort of mixed media. Really.
Yeah, it is. I really like the Hellboy one and two. You know the comic PF one? That's a nice coat too, but this also is very nice. That's got buttons and shit on it too, like proper buttons.
Well, I mean, that Red Skull, Joker, this, they're all very, very good.
Yeah, it's nice.
So I mean, then you got the staff there, so the bow, and I didn't get to touch that. What is that, solid or what is this?
I don't. It's not metal.
No.
No, it's not. It's 100%. It's not metal. It's like some form of polystone. It's not heavy, not overly heavy. You can touch it if you want to. Touch it. It's fine. Take it. It's fine. Just if you want to pull it out.
Take it out. Bring it to me.
That's quite. Fucking hell, trust you to ask me that.
Well, you just. Well, you want me to do it?
Yeah, you can touch it. You see what I mean? It's like a polystone or a plastic, isn't it? Like maybe like PVC. Polystone.
It's like a plasticky, but it's quite
dense, but
it's got a metal rod in the middle.
Could do. It could do.
Yeah. It feels like it's got a metal rod, but it's coated.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's like I get what you're saying.
I think it's got a metal rod in there, but it's sort of got a sculpt over the top. Or
definitely. As soon as you touch it in your hand like that, you feel it. It's like it feels soft on the outside, but heavy in the inside. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But then this goes on to probably one of the weaker points, other than the base footwork. I do think some of the detailing on the kind of thumb there could be a bit better.
He's quite grotty though. I think his hands are quite dirty.
His thumb's just like.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. You mean around the sculpting of the.
I understand why it's flat, because that's where he's going to hold.
Yeah, I get you.
He's pressed against it. I'm not bothered about that.
Yeah.
I just think that where the nail, there's no detailing on there.
Yeah, it's similar with this hand. It's not the. I would say.
That looks like that thumb comes off.
Yeah, please don't.
No. What I'm saying, but that looks like. Do you see where his glove joins around?
Yeah, I can
that
see.
Looks like that thumb bit has been joined on. It looks weird.
Yeah, it does. I know exactly what you're saying. That part there, it's like a connected. It could well be.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but the card's attached.
Yeah.
I had to ask George because I remember on the custom piece I had, you had to balance the card.
Mike Wells one, I think, came out. I think Mike Wells one come loose, or maybe that's been attached so well that it doesn't come out. Because when I got it, when it was in the box, it come joined like that.
Put it.
No.
It looks like yours has got like glue.
Could well do.
Yeah.
But I imagine that they've come out on certain people's pieces that they've lost it. I mean, it could well easily be. Yeah, it looks like it's got a light bit of glue in between there, but I love it, so I'm not touching anything. I'm very happy with it.
The one I had, the card was
fucking nightmare to get.
You had to balance it, and it just kept falling over whenever I tried to do it.
It's really nice details on the underside and top of the card as well. It's nice. I think they are thingies, aren't they? They're decals, aren't they?
Oh yeah, there's got to be. So no, I'm just checking out underneath and the
Of course
detail
you
in there.
Just be careful of his arms, remember.
Yeah.
Joy.
Really well done, actually. I mean, it is really, really nice. Then you go up to the kind of head, and they do kind of the same thing that we just saw the Cyclops PF, and actually this one will probably get posted before the Cyclops because I'll probably be more motivated to edit it. But they do the same kind of thing where they have the kind of smooth gloss of all the kind of black pieces on the body, and then they kind of go into like a kind of textured, almost leather-looking around like material around the head.
Yeah.
And do you know how fucking sweaty you would be if that was leather? Jesus.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I'm struggling with these fucking gloves, let alone a leather mask.
So
the hair is, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, really nice. I mean, the funny thing about that is you do get an alternative portrait that's absolutely fantastic as well. This is a beauty. This is from some other comic or something, but I do really like this. This is one of the alternative portraits, one of the better ones that I like.
Is that the original, no?
Huh? I don't know, dude, but I really, like I say, for me, this statue is much more about the statue than it is.
Yeah.
I did not, when Gambit was in the comics, I thought he was cool because he was sort of like a rebel and dangerous. I mean, he is an Omega level mutant, so he is actually really dangerous. I think it's called Red Sun or something like that, or something, you know what I mean? There's another version of Gambit where he's full powered. He's Gambit in like the comics. No, I know what you're saying, but there is a version of Gambit where his powers have been released to him, I think by Mr. Sinister, because he is quite muted in early parts of the comic, but later full power, he is dangerously powerful, stronger than all of the others that are in there. He's very, very strong. So, but I think it might be Mr. Sinister. Correct on the comments if you know it, but I think Mr. Sinister releases him for a while, and I think it's Red Sun. They call him some other name. And he's like fucking deadly. So, but this is I really like this portrait. There's a lot of great details on there.
Personally, I think the ones on there. I mean, for me, it's nice. It's
a nice portrait.
For me, this one is done so well that
it's probably one of the best portraits I have. In fairness, it's one of definitely the best Sideshow one I got.
I think. Yeah, I think the portrait is done really, really well. I mean, maybe paint could be slightly better, but I just think that for character accuracy and that's just a cool fucking head. That just looks so that pose there, looking out at the card, biting on the cigarette. For me, that's fantastic. That is a great pose.
Yeah.
I don't even think he needs his stuff, to be honest with you. You can have it.
Yeah, I don't display. I have it detox, so
you can have it or not. I mean, with me, it's that's take it or leave it. I would definitely pose him with the jacket. I would not take off this jacket. Same with Cyclops. I wouldn't take off Cyclops' jacket. I know that in the comics he rarely wears the jacket, but he's more
just that high collar. Man.
I'm talking about Cyclops now. Sorry.
Yeah, that high collar on that coat is like mad.
Yeah. Personally, I just think that, I know
so
there are,
cool.
I can't remember who done it, but I know I searched on Google, there was someone who did repaint him and Rogue, and they've got him without his jacket, both of them without their jackets repainted. But that looked pretty cool, but again, I don't think he needs
so unneeded, so unnecessary. That's the thing. I mean, it's like really quite amazing the work on this one. At least it was me.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Well, he smashed the door out.
That's why I have this flat and not up, so I don't catch it with any arm. But I think this is a stunning portrait. You know, the way the hair is done, the beard around his face is nuts. And the expression, the curling of the nose, that intensity into his eyes, where you can almost see the pupil in the red. Like it's there, but the glow is going past it.
I think the teeth could be better, but again, meaning that time,
Nah, they're pretty good. Like for what it is for the time, it's really good. You've got that nice ember on the end of the cigarette. It's got so much attitude.
Well as well.
So much attitude. Hair's like waving to one side. And it doesn't need this. It really doesn't need this at all.
The hair is a bit clumped as well, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
but much better than the Cyclops. So much better.
Going back onto the original, I think in the intro or whatever, early on in this video, but when we saw this, it kind of took us by surprise.
Yeah.
Now it's got to be 4 and a half years later.
Yeah.
How do you think it stands up in those 4.5 years of us thinking it was that way, and then now?
That's a good, really
Considering
good,
what we've seen since.
No, that's a really good question. That's a very, very good question.
I mean, obviously, have you even seen it since Mike Wells' house?
No.
I don't think I've seen a Gambit since.
I haven't seen it since I saw it back then.
I might have seen a couple.
I think, for me, I think this is one of the best premium formats ever made. I just, that's how I see it. I see it as, I don't see it as having any real weaknesses, other than you can say that the base lacks a little bit of imagination, creativity. Other than that, it is, I mean, you could say, the little bit of, cleaner work around the hands or the fingers, the cuticles. I mean, that's really improved. Like, you look at things like Eric Sosa's Ryu, you look at his cuticles and the way that's done, you add that to this, and then that's the end of it. I mean, the skill.
No?
Who?
Bane had pretty clean hands.
Yeah, he does, but remember, his nails are so big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This sort of size is very close to your Ryu sort of size as a hand. And not, but the hands and the proportions are very close. So, I think that skill-wise, it's definitely, there's still elements that we've improved upon with digital sculpting. Because you remember, this is...
I don't think the media's got it better.
No, I know.
I think this is probably one of the best looking.
Yeah, I agree.
Best looking coats out there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they've done a fantastic job on that coat. I'm really impressed with the coat more than anything.
I just think the portrait is fucking so good. I think it's such a good face and head, and I think this has a lot of attitude. It's just perfect. This is what happens when licensors just shut the fuck up and let companies do what they're going to do, and they'll make you do again. I mean, this is a Marvel statue. This isn't a fucking Disney statue, and that's the main thing. That's the difference. It's not muted. It's not soft. He's got dirty fingers, dirty hands. He's got like a rough beard. He's grabbing that cigarette with his teeth. It's just fucking got attitude everywhere, and it doesn't feel to me like it's been muted. It's been softened. It's been delicate. Fucking made soft. It really does. It screams, and you're right. That coat, the detail, the stitching all around the back and everywhere is beautiful lining. It really is. But I love the body sculpt. It's I can't see much flaws. Head a little clumpy. Fingers probably a little bit more detail, a little bit more delicate. I don't want to say that word because I just said it isn't. But maybe a little bit more. That could be improved. But over it's one of the best Sideshow. It's one of the pieces, the OG pieces, that really is that good. I mean, Thor is okay. This is good. This is very good. Cap is shit. The Hulk, I have to see it again. I see it one time on a shelf far away. I have to see it again. I wasn't overly impressed with the Hulk, but
I mean, it's classic Hulk. It is exactly classic Hulk.
It's starting to grow on me a little bit more now, and more pictures and more things I see in it. Probably because I work more than I used to.
There's one of a kind artist proof signed by the artist going for $11,000 if you want it.
They do they go for very good money, but for me, this is one of the true OG pieces that is as good as people hype it to be. I don't think Thor is as good as people will tell you, have you believe.
I think I
love the OG Thor. Don't get me wrong.
I think when we did the kind of revisit or whatever we called it of Thor, I think we noticed under these lights. We picked up on a lot more flaws than before. We picked up on a lot more heavy paint on the cape and just boots, like rough edges, boots. I think with this one, looking at this one after, I don't know what it was, 4.5 years ago, I think this one has held up better. Again, there are a few small bits if you want to be really, really fussy. If you want to pick at it a little bit.
Nothing, I've never seen anything.
I think it's a really strong piece. I think that it's probably one of Sideshow's best, that they've done. I think they nailed this. So it'll be good to see if anyone can do a better Gambit. But for the era that we were fans of Gambit, this nails it big time.
Yeah.
Let me just grab the tape measure.
Thank you. I have to do it with the staffing.
If you wish.
All right, let me do this. So let me just educate, just to say, just get anybody knows. This is something that Jonathan Mennon's actually told me, and I'm fucking glad he did. The staff only goes in one way, okay? And I believe if you look at the staff, you can see it's not exactly the same. You have a longer end here without any connection. See, there's got a little gap there, and then this one's got like a long pole, and that's the end that goes in. So you do it from behind, it's that way that it slides in, and it'll go all the way down, and then basically it will get into a certain point where it won't move any further, and that is the point there, that it won't go any further. I personally would like it a little higher. You know, you can leave it there if we wish, you know, if you want to. It's kind of like balanced there that way. And if we do it like that, it sticks out quite far, dude. Right, so, yeah, it goes all the way down. And then it gets to a point and it doesn't move, stop. That's the point there. So if you're doing it from there, okay, so you're going to probably want to pose him how I'm looking at him, probably about there. So I would say width-wise is the point of the pole to the end of the base, and you can see why this staff is a problem, because that's 17 inches across. Yeah, from there.
So 17 inches is 1 centimetre.
17 inches is 43. And if you remove it, and then you want to do the width again, and you're posing it this way, it is purely base, and it's around 13 inches.
Yeah.
That's it. 13 inches across. Depth-wise, because the piece is, you know, like that, you're going to go from here to the end of the hand. It's around about 16, I would say, about 16, 16 and a half to the edge. It's about 42 centimetres. Height-wise, is just under, it's just a shade, I think, under 20. So I'd say it's around about, what do you reckon there? Is that about up?
I can't see it.
Let me just see from here, because it's quite, I'm going to just make sure I get from a closer edge there. Yeah, it's about 20 inches, about 19 3/4. There you go.
You're getting well pissed.
It's not, trust me when I tell you, it's about just a shade under 20 inches.
Yeah. It's 19 3/4.
See,
So yeah, about
see,
50 centimetres.
see what I mean? It
when
does.
you're measuring, you're like, well.
Yeah, I know it looks like that from afar, but I'm just lining it, and it is very difficult to do. But no, I mean, I don't know how big the figure is actually from head to toe. Let's keep it there. He's around 18 and a half inches tall.
Well, he's meant to be 6'3", anymore.
Yeah, well, he's 18 and a half inches tall from that. So the base obviously adds like another inch and a touch, just over an inch. Yeah, it does. Exactly an inch and a half.
Yeah.
He does fit into a D-top without the pole. With the pole, I think at best is your only way. But he will take up a large amount of that.
I think with the best, he fits in with Rogue quite nicely.
Yeah.
And there is also the custom base where they both fit together on the base.
Yeah, the
Cool.
Pathfinder.
That's it. Pathfinders, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice base where they join together, because obviously these big sphere circle things take fucking ridiculous amounts of room because they're standing 10 feet from each other. Excellent piece. I can highly recommend it. Obviously, you know us. We don't play no hype shit. So if it's good, we'll say it's good. If we don't think it, I don't care what it goes for, what other people tell you, we will tell you if we think it's shit. This piece actually is very, 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 very good. And definitely worthy of any type of hype status that you give it. I think if you like Gambit, you probably won't ever find a better one.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah, well there you are.
I agree. I think it's very well done.
Much love, like, comment, subscribe and share, and we love you all. Take care, be safe, don't text and drive.
Not all of you.
Probably a few.
There's a couple.
A couple we don't. Like break your face, but yeah.
But you started.
You started it first. Much love, peace.
I think some of the details on these sort of fingers and stuff aren't as good as I remember.
Yeah, dirty, isn't they? He's got like dirty.
No, like this thumb's fucked. It looks like your brother, cousin James's thumb.
Platypus thumb.
Yeah, you can ping pong back thumb. Like Rowan with his fucking dick thumb, yeah. Okay. Well, it's like in The Machinist, He's got like a cock finger or something.
That ain't human.
No.
Isn't that meant to be like a depressing film where you like lose loads of weight and all that in the machinist?
He's got insomnia and he like imagines stuff.
Oh, okay. My damn hands are turning into frog hands, man. Fucking gloves.